Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D.
Brief.
This is the D brief.
Go. Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's
arts and entertainment scene.
This is the D.
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the podcast for and about Detroit artists and entertainers. I'm Seth Ressler.
I'm Becky Scarcello.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about the art of voiceover and narration. Our guest joining us is actress and director Casaundra Freeman. She is directing The Puppeteer, which runs through this weekend at the Detroit Rep Theater. Welcome back.
Yes,
Thank you.
hello.
Thanks for having me.
Have you always wanted to, you're just such a sparkling personality. Have you always wanted to act?
I think I always wanted to perform.
Yes.
I knew
okay,
that
in some way.
very early on. Yeah. My mom and dad got me, enrolled me in dance when I was 2. I think I was supposed to be 3 or 4. And my mother was like, she's just small for her age. And so I've been performing for a long time. And then that kind of segued into acting. And I started acting professionally when I was 14.
Wow.
Planned Parenthood had a group called the Teen Theater Troupe. And we used to go around to high schools and perform skits on teen sexuality. The model being that teenagers or kids learn better from their peers than they did from adults.
Yeah, there had to be some great sex education curriculum.
So we would do we would write and we would direct and we would perform in these skits, and kids would learn, and it was a wonderful experience. So I did that for 4 years, all of my high school experience, and then kept going.
The lesson being, kids, that you too can have a career in the theater. All you have to do is get your start at Planned Parenthood.
That's right. That's right.
For the right reasons.
That's right. For the right.
Becky, let's start the show with some trivia.
Sure. So next Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, many of us celebrate here in Detroit, wearing our green and eating our Irish stew and such. So, of course, the center in Detroit for celebrating is Corktown, Detroit's oldest neighborhood. There's a Corktown race there. You can do a 5K or a mile, and there's a huge parade along Michigan Avenue that's happening this Sunday, March 15th. Awesome annual tradition. So
my girlfriend avoids Corktown on St. Patrick's Day. Do you go? Have you ever?
No, I do the same as your girlfriend. I'm like, I'm going to go the opposite direction.
There's a legit reason. I mean, there's 100,000 people expected at this parade.
Wow.
I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah. I mean, there's some people that like, I can't miss that. I got to be a part of that. And others that avoid.
Because I'm not from here. Mm-hmm. For a native, is it like the Dream Cruise where you avoid it for the same reasons?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Same thing. The Dream Cruise, the fireworks, all of that stuff. So if it's not your zhuzh, if it's not your thing, then you shouldn't be there because it just sour the event. You'll sour the event.
Get off my lawn.
And people are there wanting to have a good time. And if you're not going to have a good time,
don't go.
Right.
Don't go.
Yeah. But if you want to be a part of something big and festive,
go.
Okay.
So in what year did the first Metro Detroit St. Patrick's Day Parade take place?
So it happened after Corktown was founded, which we discovered yesterday was 1808.
That's right.
Correct?
Well, that wasn't when Corktown was founded. That was when the first St. Patrick's Day celebration took place.
So
the celebration is a separate thing from the parade.
Right.
So
because it started out religious.
I'm thinking not too far after.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So the question is, how long did it take for people to stop being religious and turn it into
a party?
Uh-huh. Right.
Well, you could look at it that way.
The Cinco de Mayo-fication of the St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
1815.
7 years? You think that's all it took?
That's all it took.
It had to have been longer than that. I'm going to say 1838.
Surprise, it wasn't until 1958.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, it didn't take long at all.
We were 1958?
Yeah, so this year will be the 62nd annual. And part 2 of the question, where was that first parade in 1958? It was not in the city of Detroit. Where would you guess it was?
It was not in the first Detroit St. Patrick's Day parade was not in the city of Detroit.
It was in Metro Detroit.
Where would it have been? Where would you do a parade? I mean, you wouldn't do it in Troy. You wouldn't do it in downriver. You would do it. Would you do it on Belle Isle? Like, where would you throw a parade?
No, I don't know.
Think of a fairly big
Fairly big
city.
Big city.
Dearborn?
Yes, you got it.
Really? Haha.
The first one was in Dearborn, 1958.
I never would have guessed that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the parade, the annual parade, is put on by the United Irish Society, which is like a group of 35 different Irish organizations that come together. And it starts at Michigan Avenue and 6th Street. It's happening this Sunday, March 15th, 1 p.m. Like I said, 100,000 people.
Wow.
Casaundra, you do obviously a lot of work with your voice because it is so fabulous.
Thank
you do voiceover work, audiobooks, narration stuff. Yeah. How did you get into that? And is it a good way for you to, supplement your living?
It's a wonderful way to supplement my living. I would like to do, I'm looking to do more of it and get my home studio back up and running so that I can do more of it because it allows me the freedom to be with my children a little bit more.
Okay.
Theater is still so time consuming.
Sure. And obviously offsite.
Right. Offsite. And so it will allow me to be there to pick them up and attend the parties and do the things. So, it's a wonderful way to supplement my income. I got into it just by chance. Someone saw me on stage and thought I had a great voice, recommended me to somebody else. I made the call. Emails and stuff got exchanged, and then one thing led to another. Because in this industry, work begets work.
Right? Exactly. People get to know you, and so do you have any kind of agent for that, or what's all involved?
I do work with Productions Plus on some things, but most of the things that I do with my voice, I do independently. So
that's nice too.
So for somebody who wants to get into that kind of work, what would you recommend for them?
I would recommend a lot of studying online. There's some wonderful websites. PatFraley.com. He's a wonderful voiceover teacher, and I think he's out of LA. If you want to study audiobooks, you can look up Scott Brick, who's great as well. And then we do at the Detroit Repertory Theater, we actually do we have a actors workshop that's coming up. The registration is March 28th, and one of the mandatory classes that you have to take is voice and diction, and I teach that class.
Oh, nice!
Really?
Yeah.
What do you cover? I mean, obviously you cover voice and diction, but give me an example of something that you would.
Some of the skills, that you would teach.
So one of the things is just articulation. A lot of times people don't realize how to switch between speaking colloquially, with their families and whatnot, and then how to make your voice crisp and clear so that you can sell a product or, promote something, So it's a lot of that, just teaching people how to use their natural gift, their voice. And control their breath and all of those things.
Right.
Which lends itself to, work on the stage, work behind the camera, in front of the camera. Yeah, in front of the camera.
Sure.
Not behind.
Yeah, it's definitely
in front of the camera.
You've done some.
In front of the microphone.
No, I've not. I know a lot of people who have from my days in radio.
And I'd like to get into it. And I took a workshop by the wonderful Angela Gallegos, teaches them at Music Town.
Okay.
Above Hockey Town there. And just like you said, things you don't even realize, I guess. And then you get pointed out and like, oh, of course.
Yeah, and then
sound like this, I need to think about this.
Right.
And I need to hold my mouth like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Practice.
And so we have two instructors, myself being one of them, Will Bryson being another, and his approach is completely different from mine. He teaches a lot of Shakespeare because he's classically trained in Shakespeare from the George Washington University. He corrects me all the time.
Oh, yes.
He's like,
yes.
Jeez,
I've heard that before.
Calm down.
Not a George Washington University.
Not the George Washington University. But so learning how to do scansion and just all of those things. So you walk in and you walk out with all of these skills that you didn't even know you could have.
Right. That just is within you. Like I notice you do this. You smile when you're talking and people can hear the smile in your voice.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's totally true.
That's
that
huge.
I know from radio. Yeah. Are there vocal exercises that you take people through?
We teach a lot of tongue twisters. We teach a lot of articulation.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Come on, what do you got?
Teach us.
Okay, all right. Let's see. This one is you probably know this one. A big black bug.
A big black bug.
Bit a big black bear.
Bit a big black bear.
And the big black bear.
And the big black bear.
Bled blue blood.
Bled blue blood.
But then you have to say it fast and all together.
Wait, that wasn't fast?
Yeah, I don't remember it. Big black blood.
A big, I can see why that's tough.
Yeah, a big black blood.
So when you sit down to do some voiceover work or some narration, is there are there exercises that you will do to warm up?
Absolutely. So I have my favorite tongue twisters, which is far too long for me to, to try to teach you now. But I do. I run through kind of a sequence of things so that I'm hitting bilabial sounds. I'm using my tongue.
I don't know what the word
properly.
bilabial means.
So using both of your lips properly. Yeah.
Well, my girlfriend would like it if I knew that word.
There you go. There you go. So
Important skills, people.
Acting skills are life skills.
Yes, they are.
All the time.
Yeah.
So I have a list that I go through that it's in my mind, and then sometimes I'll add some new ones, and then a lot of it is just, reading through the script and making sure. And sometimes the lines in the book, if I'm doing an audiobook, will become their own tongue twisters, and I'll just use those for exercises because if I'm doing like a sci-fi book, then there's all of these made up worlds and names and places and characters and languages and stuff. So
yeah.
You have a favorite book that you've narrated?
Yeah, so I did the trilogy, the Inheritance trilogy for N.K. Jemisin. She's a sci-fi writer, and so it was The Kingdom of Gods, and there's three wonderful books. And so the last one was just published last December, I believe. And so it was a great time. It was a great time. So I was introduced to all of these. I'm not a really big sci-fi reader, so it was just wonderful to,
out of your element.
It was out of my element, but I learned so much, about, this very dedicated following that she has. And it was wonderful working with her and bringing those characters to life.
How long can you read at one time, like an hour? Or?
No. So usually a session is almost like an 8-hour day can be. But like 6 to 8 hours days, we take breaks. Yeah. But we're just reading. 100 pages.
So how long can you read without a break, would you say? Controlling your breath?
So I can go about 4 pages without stopping.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
When you think about it, that's a lot.
Your voice must change over the course of the day.
It does.
Yes.
It does. And so you have to be mindful of that. So I'll ask the studio engineer to record me, just like, listen, this is how I sounded at 8:00. I want to be able to maintain that. So
I'll never forget, I've listened to Kitchen Confidential, which is the Anthony Bourdain book, as an audiobook.
Oh, God, he's smoking all the time.
You could totally tell when he took a smoke break because all of a sudden he'd be like,
yeah. So I sound like Barry White in the morning because I have my voice is, I'm an alto, so it's pretty deep. So I have to record. Usually I start about 10:00.
Okay.
I've eased into it. I've been talking for a while.
Do you have a regimen of things that you either eat or drink to take care of your voice?
Apples when I'm in session because it removes, the tackiness in your mouth. Like, so if you have, your mouth is really tacky.
Yeah.
So, and then water,
Water and apples.
Water, apples, and sometimes tea.
Keeps the doctor away and
Absolutely.
your voice fresh.
That's right.
Want to mention an artist opportunity. Arts Beats and Eats is now accepting music submissions. So if you are a music artist, maybe you're a band or a singer, and you want to perform at Arts Beats and Eats, the deadline is April 1st. Go to their website. You can get all the information. Let's do some event recommendations. Becky, what do you got?
Yeah, so coming up this Friday, March 13th, is 313 Day. So there's all kinds of stuff going on for that. Seth, do you know about 313 Day?
It's a day about an area code.
So it's just a Detroit-y day. So we like our 313. So March 13th, it fits. It's,
All right.
You gotta do
it. Easy.
So you celebrate Detroit and do something fun. So
I have a coney. What do I do?
You can have a coney, have some better made chips, a Faygo.
I'm still trying to have a corned beef egg roll. I tried, and I showed up at 10:30, and it turns out they didn't open till 11.
Oh, darn.
So
we have to try again.
Yeah, I need to try again.
But this year's kind of special, too, because Friday is Friday the 13th, so you've got the spooky factor as well. So I found this event that looks pretty cool from both regards. It's called Mystery in the Motor City. It's happening at the Detroit Historical Museum, so it's an interactive murder mystery game. So you can show up alone or form a little team. You solve puzzles, question the suspects. There's a lawyer figure that's kind of heading up the whole thing, and you kind of work with her to figure out the mystery and solve the murder.
That sounds cool. I've always wanted to do one of those murder mystery parties. Have you ever done one of those?
I've not done one of those. I've been
did one
invited to perform in one of those.
Oh, yeah.
really?
Yeah, but
I
I didn't do it, but I should have. It sounds
Actually,
like
I've
a lot
been
of
to a
fun.
couple.
What role would you play? Like, how do you?
They cast it like they cast everything else. I think I got
You
the
were the
breakdown.
barkeep,
Yeah.
or you were the
What is the most
dancer.
unusual thing you've ever been hired to perform in? Like, have you ever done what's the big wedding that they have at Andiamo?
Tony and Tina's
wedding, or anything?
No. I haven't done anything like that.
You weren't goofy at Disneyland.
No, I haven't
Yes.
I haven't done that. No. I don't think it's necessarily strange. The most interesting part that I played was when I just closed at Williamson Theater, and it was another sci-fi piece, and it was set in 2054 in the Detroit area, and we're at war with aliens.
Ooh,
And all of the it's written by a local playwright, a Michigan-based playwright by the name of Annie Martin, and all of the boys at 16 have to go off to war and fight the aliens, and all of the girls have to be artificially inseminated to populate the world again.
Oh, boy.
And so this mother is trying to get her son away.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to go.
Escape.
How do you do special effects when it's a play?
A really, really interesting way. So there was like sawdust combined with baby powder, that there was this explosion, and then lights and, sound and, all of these wonderful things.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
pull some rigs and stuff falls out of the sky.
All right,
you believe
Cassandra, you have
Well,
a...
wait, I got to finish about this
I'm
event.
sorry. I'm sorry. There's more 313?
No.
The
but
murder mystery.
My point is also that the murder mystery takes place in those streets of old Detroit, the basement.
Oh, the basement. Oh, that's a cool place down
immersive.
there.
So I thought that was the cool piece, to be honest. And you can get tickets online for that, and they're encouraging 1920s attire. That's the theme.
Cool. What about you, Cassandra? You got an event recommendation?
I lead a pretty boring life, but I do love Tomatoes Pizza. It is one of the best pizzas, and my kids and I go there all the time.
So I'll bite. I haven't been there. I don't know where it
it's
is. I'm not from here. Where's Tomatoes Pizza?
So they have two locations. One is on Halstead and Grand River. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I don't know where the other one is.
I'm not sure.
There's
That's
like
the one I
two
go to in
locations.
Farmington.
It's in Farmington Hills, right next to Bonaventure. So pretty good. And they're always nationally rated.
Oh,
one of the best
It is very
pizza
good.
places in the country. So, yeah.
I'm going to mention something theater related, so it's up your alley. Jet Fest 2020. This is the festival of new plays that happens at the Jewish Ensemble Theater. I need to do my
I know,
vocal
you need your
exercises.
voiceover class.
It's that tongue twister. It's just totally messed me up. It's the festival of new plays that the Jewish Ensemble Theater is doing. One of the plays has already happened, but there's 3 more. They happen on Sunday nights, so it'll be the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. Playwrights are encouraged to attend, and they are now accepting submissions for 2021 through the end of April. I mean, if you are an aspiring playwright here in the Detroit area, where should you be sending your stuff?
You should be sending your stuff to, you can send them to any of the local theaters. So, but the Detroit Repertory Theater has a wonderful playwrights program where you can send your work, and it will actually be read by people in the theater. Will give it a really solid read, may critique it, and pass it along, and you have a chance to get it produced, on our stage. So
That's
it's
awesome. How many plays do you produce a year?
We produce 4 plays a year. We start in November and we end in June.
So are there any plays that you come across that you really like but maybe won't fit your season or whatever you can't do? Do you help those playwrights get it somewhere else, perhaps?
Because a lot of times we try to produce playwrights who are Michigan based.
Yes.
So we'll, reach out to them and recommend some other place. But then also what we might do is we might hold it for the next season. So if it's not fitting for this season, we might hold it for the next season.
Cool.
Yep.
The Puppeteer is closing this weekend at Detroit Rep. We have the director here with us all week, Casaundra Freeman. What are you doing after this?
So I am a resident artist at the Purple Rose Theater, which is in Chelsea, and I'm currently in rehearsal for a wonderful show written by Carrie Krim called Paint Night. So I'm working on that right now, and it will open April 2nd, and it'll run, I think, until the beginning of June.
I like that theater there in Chelsea. It's a
wonderful.
nice evening out.
It's a wonderful place for actors to be. You can really just focus on your work, and everything else kind of happens around you. They really do support you out there.
Nice.
So shout out to Guy Sandville and the Purple Rose.
Want to let you know that we have an Alexa skill. If you've got one of those Amazon Echoes or Dots or other devices in your home, all you have to do is say, enable the Debrief podcast. Easiest way to listen to us. We're on Spotify as well. Becky, let's close out with another local song today.
Sure. This is called Switchblades and Lies by the Mighty Deadwoods. It's a new song that they put out this year. It's basically a protest song against violence. And fun fact, the lead singer, Travis, is a guy I went to grade school with. So...
Did you guys date?
I think we had a dance, like a 6th grade dance moment.
Do you pull your hair?
Probably, yeah. He was that kind of guy. Yeah, now he's in a high energy rock band. Imagine that. So they're playing live at Bolero, that cool bowling alley in Royal Oak, this coming Saturday. It should be a really fun show. So that's March 14th. And live is honestly the way to see him. He's been into acting too, and he really channels that performance swagger, like James Brown, Iggy Pop. Yeah, it's a fun show. So this is Switchblades and Lies.
Cool. We'll check it out. Until tomorrow, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.